I'm curious, who was your first hire, or like what particular roles did you hire first?
Well, no, my first hire is a guy named Julian Moreno. I think he's now the director of operations for Globalization Partners. He's a great dude. He actually lived with me. I moved down here, and I was like, "Come from Bogota and stay." I got this big penthouse. I had some of my employees living with me. It was a little bit of I don't know the right word, but it was just kind of funny. I had like a housekeeper cooking us food. It was a huge place. But his name is Julian Moreno, and his career has continued, and he's doing very well for Globalization Partners, which is a big company out of Boston. He was probably one of my first hires. My second hire, this lady named Maria Camila, she actually ended up marrying, having a family with my fourth hire, Eddie Bejo, which is funny. So I feel like I've built some families down here too, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, it was those people that I mentioned were some of my first hires, and they really helped me out here for sure. Big thanks to them.
What kind of people were you looking at? Were you trying to hire?
English. So that's one mistake that I didn't make. I was more like, it's like Moneyball. Is he got a good face and can speak English? Let's hire him. And that's another good advice. Like, you come to these markets, you're going to get naturally a tendency to be like, oh, you speak fluent English? You want $50 a month? I'm going to take you, which I recommend people slow it down and don't get too excited and continue to hire with that same diligence that you would do in Vancouver or these big offices. So yeah, we basically looked at English first and really didn't do enough work, and we didn't look too much deeper, which I regret. I regret hiring so easily.
I think we did a little bit of that as well. We kind of changed it. We had a different standard, a different playbook, and I think we certainly did change it and adapted it. And I think if I would go back, I would probably do exactly what you said and just take the playbook and take the hiring profile and say, listen, I'm looking for this person just in a different geo. The thing I was trying to lead to is my first hire. I was lucky to hire Manuel, and he had built offices for Amex before, like call centers and things like that. And he had been a concierge, and having somebody like that is like a country leader, somebody who knew all the ins and outs, who knew all the laws, who like knew all the things where I'm like, hey, I'm going to go do this. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
You don't do it that way. You got to do it this way. And I'm like, why? He's like, well, in Mexican culture, you want to make sure you do this and that. And so it's having somebody, especially if you're committing to a team. Like, it's one thing to like say, hey, I'm going to just hire globally. I want to hire one individual for this role, and I don't care where they are. That's one thing. If you're intentionally saying, I'm going to build a team in LATAM, then having somebody like Emmanuel to help you learn the culture was
well, country manager. I think you said it right. I think this concept of a country manager is a big deal, and like, you can always define what you said. It's like, if you're going to hire a lot of people in a country, have a country manager, someone who understands the nuances. Which holiday out of the 22 holidays do matter, right? Maybe you want to approve some of them if they're really special, right? That makes lots of sense. And that's why that position exists. There's lots of country managers out there, the operations people, right? I would say that was Maria for me. A lady by name Catherine Taborda, but I've been fortunate. To have found amazing people that have really helped me with the culture every day. Every day I'm learning something new.
I love that. And I love that you moved down there as well. I think I'm certainly at a disadvantage because I'm learning everything slower about the culture because I don't live there.